What's going on, everybody? Today we are back. It's been a minute since I've been able to say that, but we are back with the JJK chapter 153. It's titled Gambling Match. And before I get into the video, I just gotta say, I'm in a pretty good mood. We got a new JJK chapter, and my Detroit Pistons drafted K Cunningham, so I'm feeling good. This chapter, from what I read, was really good. It was entertaining, it was funny, and cool at the same time. Also, just like to say before the video, I tried a different style with the review, so I'm not really gonna be reading it like word for word for you, because let's be honest, most of you have already read the chapter, so there's really no point in me reciting it to you. So I'm just gonna pretty much be giving my thoughts and like little notes or whatever. But yeah, you'll see when you watch the video. So without further ado, let's get into this chapter. So the chapter opens up, and Tengen's basically telling Megumi and Isidori Hakari that Hakari is at the Toji prefecture, and he's making money as a bookmaker for gambling matches with sorcerer vs sorcerers fights, which Megumi states that sorcerer vs sorcerer fights are illegal, and you can't do that because that's breaking the rules, which from what we've known of Hakari, this shouldn't really bother him at all, because he got suspended for beating up a higher up, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't care about any of the rule books for Jujutsu Sorcerer. And amongst the crowd is going to be non-sorcerers, and that there might be curse users, so he tells them to be careful. And Isidori and Megumi are going in for infiltration, and they change their clothes because Megumi says that, you know, Hikari is going to figure out that they are from the Jujutsu Tech because of their uniforms, and Megumi doesn't want Hikari to like possibly run away because he sees them. So they change their clothes. Yuji's wearing like this white jacket with a black collar. Megumi's wearing an all black hoodie. So Yuji and Megumi, they get to the gambling club, and there are two bodyguards there. The big one that looks like Finks from Phantom Troop, and a short, small guy who has glasses. And the big guy warns Megumi, and he says this Fight Club reference, which I'm gonna be surprised if it's going to be an official translation, but he says first rule of the gambling club is no one talks about the gambling club. What I just think is funny, and it just fits this whole Fight Club thing. And Megumi reads the situation perfectly by lying and saying he killed some guy that came here and went missing. When Yuji sees what's going on and he just says nothing because he realizes that they're trying not to be suspicious, so he just keeps his mouth shut and doesn't say anything at all, just lets Megumi do the work. And I just like this interaction and this cool scene Megumi and Yuji like read the situation really perfectly and show off and show their intelligence, not only like as Jujutsu sorcerers, but just like in real world situations. They just read it perfectly. I like seeing stuff like that. And Megumi says, if you guys are looking for someone, I'll be the one to fight. And Yuji and the short small guy says instead, you know, Yuji will be the one that will be fighting, and Megumi isn't allowed to fight because Hakari doesn't like him. And I think Hakari doesn't like him because maybe Hakari has heard of Megumi, and he automatically assumes that Megumi is kind of for the higher ups because he is technically part of the Zenin clan. Maybe Hakari has that information, or you know, he has video cameras installed in like these corners of the building. Maybe he just sees Megumi, he heard what Megumi said, and he already doesn't like him. But I'm guessing it's because he knows of Megumi and he doesn't know of Isidori because Isidori came later to Jujutsu Tech, so maybe that's why he doesn't really like him right now. But that's just my suspicions as of why Hakari doesn't take a liking to Megumi. So Yuji and Megumi pretty much go over the fact that they have to be quick about this because they don't want to waste time for Tsumiki's deadline for the culling game. And Yuji says he'll back off if any trouble comes up. He'll regroup with Megumi if anything gets too serious. There are two rules: don't run away and no curse techniques. There are no curse techniques allowed because it has to be entertaining for the crowd, and there's no point of them watching a fight they can't exactly see, because obviously they're non-sorcerers, they can't see Jujutsu. And also stated about Hakari, since you know you just playing along, is that he doesn't know of Hakari, is Hakari sets up non-scripted and scripted matches, and he'll call up whoever performs the best to come and talk to them about more stuff in the future, which usually gets to grasp up very quickly. He already knows, okay, let me put on a show, let me make it look nice, and then Hakari will probably call me up. And Yuji's up next to fight, and lo and behold, the great Panda is there. And he's already there, which means Panda already knew Hakari's location prior to Tengen telling Yuji and Megumi. So Yuji and Panda are getting ready to have their little fight or whatever. They're both smiling, so they both know what's going on. And Yuji and Panda are communicating through their little fight by either whispering or telepathically or through their fists. It was hard for me to tell because of the speech bubbles. It kind of was hard to tell exactly what was going on. and how they were communicating. But basically, Panda is telling Yuji, Hakari knows I'm already here. Hakari knows I'm here and he knows of me. He's just keeping his distance. And Yuji and Panda are on the exact same page. Panda takes the fall and comically says, I can't move. The Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals will speak to you about this. I don't know why Panda's always just a funny character, and he's just cool as hell to me. And you know, that's how I guess they scripted their own match. And one thing I like enjoy about this, because I've obviously watched wrestling before. I watched WWE. I still watch a little bit of it here and there, but I don't know why this is just cool to me to see, like almost like WWE or gambling type thing where they're booked matches. That's just the first thing that came to my mind. And this is how Hakari pretty much makes his money. I think it's dope. I like this gambling Fight Club aesthetic and vibe to it. I think it actually fits Hakari a lot, because Hakari doesn't follow the rules. He's his own guy. He does his own thing. And I figured that he would have his own way of making money instead of doing the normal Jujutsu stuff and fixing curses and solving cases. He does his own gig. He runs his own show, and he's the head guy of it. I think that's perfect for him, and it makes complete sense. But amidst the fight, Panda says there's also another third year whose curse technique is pretty troublesome. And we see her later on, because I'm saving all the Hakari stuff for last. But it's interesting that, you know, we didn't really get much information on third years. All we knew of was Hakari, and we did see there was apparently a second one in the fan book, so there was also that. So it's cool that we're getting both of them in the same chapter. So I saved this last section of the review specifically for Hakari and everything so far about him we've seen in this chapter, because I have been waiting to see him, because I always thought he seemed cool by the hints we were given through like little fan books or the stuff that we actually seen in the series. And you know, fellow black man. But Hakari is sitting in his own like office with his feet kicked up on the table, and he's wearing a mink fur coat with jeans and a t-shirt under, and his hair is like afro puffed out but kind of curly, and he's got the stud earrings in. I don't know why, I just love this design. Granted, when I first saw him, I was kind of like, let me see a different angle of this, because this is the first angle we see of him. He looks kind of weird, but once we got like the certain shots of him that were drawn, I really like this design. And after looking at his prior drawing of him with his hair twisted in locks, I think Hakari might have two hairstyles throughout the rest of the series. And if that happens, he's gonna be one of the coolest characters in the series by far. It'll be very reminiscent of like when Yusuke and Yu Hakusho, he'll have his two hairstyles. He'll have the one where his hairstyle is down, then the one where he's kind of like greased up or whatever, and like the delinquent hairstyle. If he has something like that going on, that would be so fire for the series, just because you don't really see characters like that have multiple hairstyles, so that'd be cool. And the other third year, Hoshi Karara, I hope I'm saying that right, who is Hakari's girlfriend, which I think is pretty cool to have a couple in the series like JJ, which is pretty much a lot of fighting, mystery, and death going on. And she has a pretty cool design as well. She's got like these little piercings under her lips, and she's wearing a choker. Her hair is kind of down, kind of a little bit like almost, I guess, emo-esque. I don't know the term for that. But she also has another standout feature, which, you know, she has a big chest, which I'm pretty sure Toto and Hakari are pretty good close friends. You know, they seem to have pretty similar tastes in women, men of culture, I would say. But Panda said she has a curse technique that was a problem for them, and I wonder what it is and what she's able to do, and potentially how strong she is. But we didn't get any hints of that in the chapter, so I'm looking forward to later on what she's capable of doing, since she's a third year. And we haven't even heard of her mentioned by anyone, so maybe she's a mystery. We don't really know much about her, but I want to see what her character is about. You know, what her ideals. If she has any ideals, you know, what's going on with her. So she seems cool. But these two overall just look cool as hell, if anything. Also, Hakari is a fan of Yuji's fighting style, because he said Yuji deliberately moved three-dimensionally to entertain the crowd, and he says he could write a ton of scripts for Yuji, and he's excited about the possibility. So this is probably a little foreshadowing of Hakari might be joining Yuji and them because of Yuji and how he's interested in how Yuji fights. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I don't want to dive too deep into stuff, but from what we've seen of Hakari is looking fire, as well as the girl that's with them. They both just look fire. Good designs by JJK overall. And that was the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the style of me not reading the chapter word for word. And if you did, let me know in the comments below. I'm glad JJK is back. I hope JJK's health is better. And I can't wait for the next upcoming chapters and for more JJK content, as well as other manga and anime stuff, and eventually gaming. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll holler at you on the next one. Peace.